Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to be doing, there's like fuzzies everywhere. We are going to be getting ready together, and while doing so, we are going to be testing some newer products. Some products I have already, tried already, and I will give you my thoughts. Other products, it is kind of more of a first impressions. So let's get ready because I got things to do and places to go. So can I just say first off that I have a headache. It's pounding, probably because I didn't eat breakfast yet, but honestly, I fed the baby and I need to film. I need to get a video uploaded because last week I only uploaded one video, and last week was just a crazy, bizarre week, to be honest. I just wasn't feeling my best physically, emotionally. And then I also had to go to the hospital with a family member, and that was a filming and editing day, and that was a really big day for YouTube that day. And instead I was in the hospital for a couple hours, which is totally fine. It's okay. That person is okay. Thankfully, that's just what matters at the end of the day. But there was just a lot going on last week, so I do apologize. But I did let you guys know that this coming week, which I wasn't that specific, but I meant this coming week, which is the week we are on right now, I will be uploading Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. This is what will work for now. I'm hoping that I can just stick to this schedule no matter what is going on in my personal life and just figure it out. But my last uploading schedule wasn't really working out kind of towards the end for some reason. So yeah. All right. I should be just talking and doing my makeup, right? But I really just wanted to get that out there. I know I was MIA for a bit on YouTube last week, and it just wasn't a good uploading week, and I'm sorry. But we are at almost 100 subscribers, so that's amazing and that's exciting. I am super excited to see where this channel is going to end up this year. All right, so to prime my face, my tired face, we are going to be using the Wet n Wild Glass Correct Primer. And this is supposed to be, I believe, just like a dewy, brightening primer. It's supposed to give you crystal-like skin, and it also has vitamin C. So we love makeup with skincare. So we're gonna start off with this. My face does look a little glowy because I do have my normal skincare on. It has been some time now since I did my skincare, but my face still looks a little glowy and dewy, and that's okay. So I did use this primer once already, and I really like it. Once it dries down, it's not as like dewy. It's dewy. It definitely makes your skin look pretty and glowy, but it's a primer that I would be okay using by itself if I just wanted a nice glow to the skin and not look like super oily or greasy or anything. So like I said, when you first put it on, and depending how much you put on, you will look a little like, shiny in the beginning, but it does like dry down and calm down a bit, and it just looks seriously so beautiful. I don't know what's going on with my skin. I don't know if it's stress. I've just been breaking out so much. This side has kind of been like, this side it's okay. It's just hyperpigmentation. But this side, I don't know. I honestly don't know what is causing it. It might be a mixture of the mask. It might be a mixture of hormones. Who knows? But my skin is just not at its best right now. So we're just going to pretend that this side looks like this side. I'm going to be trying this foundation for the very first time. It is the Milani Cream to Powder foundation. So this is what it looks like. It is in the shade Light Beige. The shades that were like lighter than this looked way too light for me, and then the shades above it looked too dark, way too dark. So I think that this should, there's all these ring lights, I'm sorry, but this should be my shade, hopefully. I didn't do too good with the L'Oreal powder foundation, so I did end up giving that away just because it just was not my shade. So I will try to get it again once it's in stock in more places and get my shade. I did like it, but it just wasn't my shade. It was way too light for me. So I did go ahead and declutter and pass it on just because, if someone else can get good use out of it, why not? This is what it looks like. I did swatch it a little bit because I did want to feel it because it does legit feel like a cream. and then it's supposed to turn into a powder. So that was just so interesting to me. I'm not gonna do like a wear test or anything. If you want me to do a separate video just doing like an all-day wear test and focusing more on just this foundation, let me know down below. Or if you want any updates, just go ahead and leave comments down below. But I'm just gonna kind of just be playing with it and testing it out today. And it does have a mirror. So first I'm gonna use what they give you, and which I really am not a fan of, but let's just start over here. Let's just see. Ooh. I just feel like this thing, it's giving me a little bit of coverage, but I just feel I just don't like these things a whole lot. So I'm already throwing it away. And we are gonna so I'm just gonna use my e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush, or buffing brush, blending brush. And we are going to, I'm just gonna dab my brush, and we're gonna start pounding this on. The thing that kind of intrigued me is if this is really a like powder to cream to powder, then it's like you don't have to powder afterwards. You just put it on, let it set itself, and then that's it, right? And I think I did a good job at like picking out my shade. Like you can see it really calmed down the redness. And Conceal and Perfect Smooth Finish Cream to Powder Foundation. I don't know if this is supposed to be a like light to medium coverage. I'm thinking it's like a high light to buildable medium, but definitely using this brush is way better. Oops, I wish they had the mirror like right here. It's kind of like annoying. It is super creamy, as you can see. Holy moly, that was high pigment right there. But let's see what it does on this side. See how it covers this up. Okay. All right, so I definitely take back the light medium. I would say definitely medium coverage to buildable full, like light full if you really want it to get there. Because all I'm really doing, and I think it's just starting to warm up as well, is I'm just like into the pan. And so far it looks really nice. It looks super hydrating on the skin, which I did go ahead and use that like dewy primer underneath, but that's what my like acne is looking like underneath it. So all right, so yeah, so I think this is like a good medium coverage foundation. Sorry, this is probably loud on my microphone, but I really like it. Like if you can see, I didn't put any under my eyes, but like it just looks so pretty. And whatever's like on my brush, I'm just gonna kind of bring it down my neck. It's a pretty good match, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm gonna quickly pop on some concealer. This is also new and I have not tried it yet. It is from Makeup Revolution and it is their Bright Illuminating Under Eye Concealer. So I'm super excited to use this. I feel like when it comes to Charlotte Tilbury, a lot of products that Makeup Revolution makes is almost like a good dupe for her products. You know what I mean? So everyone keeps saying that this is like a dupe for her concealer. I don't know. Oh my God. Literally like oil, I think, just came up through the sponge, not any color. So I'll test it on my, guys, do you see this, guys? Like it is like just oil coming out and no like pigment. So like, do you have to shake it first? Like I'm so confused. Like there's no instructions, obviously, it's just the concealer. So that's disgusting, guys. Like it looks like spoiled milk is coming out on this concealer. So I'm just gonna wind it a good couple times. Yeah, this is just not, this is really gross. I was super excited for this concealer. I'm just gonna wipe this off my hand. Now I did see other people use this and I just maybe got a dud. I don't know. Like, it's so watery. And it wasn't sitting anywhere weird or anything. So, okay. So it's starting to now like come out like normal concealer. So I have no idea what that was about, guys. That was not a good first impressions at all. I don't know, is it gonna do that like every single time I go to use my concealer? Because I don't have time to keep winding it and shaking it and playing with it. Like, that is just so bizarre to me. But okay, so all right, so I'm just gonna use my e.l.f. Camo concealer sponge. This one is a new one, by the way. Like, it's so oily, and maybe it's the vitamin C. I don't know, but I'm trying to just make sure it's not like picking up the foundation. All right, so that's what my under eyes are looking like right now. Definitely not the best. They still look very, very dark. So I'm not gonna twist it anymore, but I am gonna take some more and just kind of keep applying it. I mean, I'm kind of disappointed. I had like high hopes for this concealer, and the fact that I probably got a dud is so disappointing. I mean, my under eye definitely looks luminous, but like there's really not much coverage. So this is something I'm for sure gonna have to keep playing with. I will have to let you guys know my opinion. Maybe in my March favorites, I will kind of do a little bit of a favorites and duds sort of thing, just to kind of talk about things that didn't work out for me, because I have a feeling that this is just not going to be one of my favorite concealers. So you're gonna have to stay tuned. So now I'm just going to set my face with the Pretty Vulgar setting powder. Well, I'm not even gonna set my face. I'm just gonna set my under eye, because that oil mess is gonna slide everywhere. Yeah, this concealer is just not doing it for me at all. I'm so sad. I was so excited for that concealer. Like, I just heard nothing but good reviews. I guess sometimes it's just worth paying the full price, right? So far, my skin itself, I think, is looking beautiful. I like how the foundation applied, and it does, for the most part, feel like pretty set. Like, it's not super sticky, super tacky. It definitely still feels like I don't know, like, doesn't feel powdery, but it doesn't feel like super, super, super tacky. So moving on, so I'm gonna apply my brows very quick. I'm just gonna be using my Milani brow pomade. It's something that I've just been using for a while, and I just love it. So I'm gonna pop on these brows, and we're gonna move on to the rest of the face and eyes in just a second. All right, eyebrows are on. So next we are going to be testing out the new Milani face palette. So this kind of got so much talk about all over the internet. And one, I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful face palette. This is the light to medium shade range, and then they do have like a medium to dark, I believe, or something like that. So there is like 2 different shades that they did come out with. So it's such a beautiful, affordable palette. But again, this is supposed to be kind of like a Charlotte Tilbury dupe for their face palette. And if you do look at them side by side, they look 100%, like not 100%, but like 90 to 95% identical. So it's crazy. I don't think that the formula is going to be the same. I don't have any Charlotte Tilbury products, so I can't compare them, but I did want to try this out because I don't want to pay $75 for a face palette, but I will pay like $10 and some cents for this one, which is how much I paid for it at Walmart. I know some places I'm seeing like $12.99, but at my Walmart, it was like literally like $10 and change. This is going to be more of my review just because I have tried this palette already. And I did want to kind of like show you guys how it's performing, but I do have my thoughts already on this palette. And like, again, I did already use this palette, and I'm going to say right off the bat, I do like it. But I will give you more of my thoughts, you know, as we play. So the first thing I'm going to use is the bronzer right here. And this bronzer is a very, very warm bronzer, as you can see. So there is a lot of kickback. So it is a very like soft bronzer. So which, you know, in the summertime, I feel like this bronzer is going to literally be beautiful. But because of how warm it is, I feel like because this is the lightest palette you can get, I don't think it's going to suit everyone's like skin tone. You know, if you're more fair and lighter than I am, I feel like this bronzer is going to be way too warm for you. I don't know, like that's just my opinion on it. So for me, it works out great. You know, even now in the winter, oh my God, look at my under eyes. You see how it's like creasing? And I set it with powder. It's an oil mess. So that's like it really about the bronzer. It blends in like a dream. It melts into the skin. It wears beautiful. And it is like a matte bronzer. There's no shimmer or anything. There is like little bits of glimmer in it, but it doesn't come off on your skin. I feel like it is more of just like a matte bronzer. So moving on to the blush, they do give you you do get like more of a matte blush, and then you do get like a blush topper, or more of like a glowy blush in here. So I really do like the matte blush. I'm not a huge big fan of the shimmer blush, just because it's just not my cup of tea. I said that before. I don't like much of a shimmer on my cheeks with my texture and my acne. But I do like the blush. I think I just put blush in my coffee, so that's great. But yeah, it's super pretty, like, and pigmented, as you can see. So I'm just gonna like stipple this into my cheeks, put it over my nose. Okay. So now that we look like we were in the sun, we got sunburn a little bit on our nose, which that's what I think this palette's going to be great for. I think it's going to be a great summer vacation palette, if that's even going to be a thing this summer. So I'll take a little bit of this like shimmer one just to kind of show you. And I'm just going to kind of place it more towards the back, but I don't know if you guys can see that glow because I'm not putting that towards the front, but I'll put it towards the back. And then whatever's left, I might put it, you know, but it just gives you like a nice sheen, a nice glow. I just don't like that type of look on for my cheeks, like blush area. But if you do like that, then you might like it. Jump into the highlight. So the highlight is definitely more of like I want to say like a champagne, you know, gold, a little bit on the gold side, but it's more of like a champagne highlight. And this is a beautiful highlight. What I will say about this is it's not, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's not just straight up glitter. It is a nice highlight, but it is a little chunky. Like, it's not just like, doesn't look like wetness. Like, if you look up close, you can see the chunks of like glitter, but it's not like just glitter. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's really hard to explain, but it does give you a nice glow, but it's not the smoothest highlight from them, is what I'm trying to say. But I mean, for $10, a full face in one palette, I mean, I honestly, like, you can't really beat it, you know? Like, so I'm not trying to like judge it too hard. So now we're gonna jump into the eyeshadow part, and guys, I really love the eyeshadows in this palette. I think out of everything in this palette, my favorite are the eyeshadows. So this shade right here is like a pinky peachy shade. It's literally so beautiful. It kind of reminds me of like Charlotte Tilbury's like Pillow Talk Quad, I think, you know, like, I don't know, it just gives, this palette does give you Charlotte Tilbury vibes. I know a lot of her makeup, I just never played with her makeup. So I'm going to dip my brush into there, and there is some kickback as well, but it's not like horrible. And then I'm just gonna pop that in the crease. And it does blend pretty good. Like all these shadows I feel blend really, really well. So I don't feel like any of them have like a blending issue. Then I'm gonna take this shade on the bottom. This shade is kind of more of like a brown shade, but it has like a peachy, like I wanna say a peachy undertone to it. It's very like unique looking. So it's like a very like warm, pinky, peachy brown. I don't know how to explain it, but it looks beautiful. All right, so you can build it up if you like. I'm just gonna leave it as is, and then I'm gonna take that same color and pop that underneath my lower lash line. And then last but not least, I'm gonna take this color right here, which honestly, it almost reminds me of like the NARS Orgasm blush shade, even with like the gold shimmer. Is exactly what you get. It's like this, like, it's like this pinky peachy shade with like gold shimmer in it, but it's so beautiful on the lid. So I just use my finger and I just put this all over the eyelid. And when you do one swipe, you kind of just get like a just like a wash of it, you know what I mean? Like it's not that impactful when you're just like swiping it all over your eyelid. But then I just take some more on my finger and I just start dabbing it and not really swiping. And then that's when it like builds up more. Like I feel like the camera's not giving it the justice now that it deserves. Like it's really pretty. Do the same thing. So the face is done. So next I'm just going to apply some eyeliner and some mascara, and then I will be right back with my final thoughts with everything that I tried today. But I'm gonna use my Hank & Henry eyeliner for my upper lash line, and then I'm going to use the Bambi Eye mascara on my top lash line, and my Hello Lashes from IT Cosmetics on my bottom lash line. And then I'll be right back. All right, let's talk about the tea. Makeup is completely done. I didn't apply anything to my lips yet, but I'm going to be grabbing just one of my favorite products that I've been using this month, and I will be talking about this a little bit more in another video, but pretty. Just very quickly, just a run through of everything. The primer from Wet n Wild, I like it. This isn't the first time that I used it. I have used it once before and I liked it then. I like it now. There's really not much to complain about. Obviously it's not like pore filling or anything, but it is going to kind of just give you like that inner glow. So I do like that new primer that Wet n Wild came out with. So if you guys are interested in a new primer, it's definitely affordable. It's Wet n Wild and it's pretty darn good. The concealer right now, I'm going to say it's a I'm going to keep playing with it and I'm going to kind of see, but really I probably got a dud. Like I said, I watched quite a few videos of people reviewing and testing out that concealer, and majority of the people liked it, which is again why I went out and got it, because I didn't even know about that concealer until I came across, you know, reviews of it on YouTube. And it gave me 100% no coverage at all. And And honestly, my under eye looks horrible. It looks so broken up, like, and patchy. And honestly, my under eye does not look smooth. It doesn't look like moisturizing or luminous at all. They look horrible. My under eyes look horrible. So I'm just not a fan. I'm gonna keep playing with it, but right now I would say no. Like, don't go out and get it. The foundation though, the foundation I really do like. Again, it's the first impressions. I don't know how it's gonna wear throughout the day, but my skin does look very moisturized. It doesn't look bad at all, except for around my under eye area, but I'm not blaming it on that. My nose does look a little like built up and a little cakey, but I feel it's because I didn't have anything to really kind of get in there and really, like, you know, blend it. So that's, I'm gonna say, is user error. But yeah, it's not full coverage for sure. Overall, it looks really pretty on the skin, very beautiful. Doesn't look drying at all. It looks super moisturizing, so I do like that. So the last thing that I have tried that is new is the Milani face palette. And so, final thoughts, I do like it. For the price and for what it does, I do like it. If you guys are looking for something like this, and you think that these shades would be okay for you, then yes, I definitely recommend to go ahead and buy this palette. It's super affordable. You're getting, you know, a full face in a palette, and I think it's great for travel. But if you want to get a little bit more, you know, into details, let's go. So the bronzer, again, it's a nice bronzer. It blends in nice, but I don't think it's going to work for every light or fair person out there. Medium, I don't think you're gonna have an issue, but I do think that they should have came out with at least 3 different shades of palettes. So this one I would say would be more medium, and then I think they should have came out with a lighter palette for people who are a little bit more fair. Their dark palette, deep dark or whatever, I don't remember which one that was. That one looked like it should be okay for people with deeper skin tones. But yeah, so that's just my opinion on that. The highlight also I think might be a little too on the, you know, warm yellow undertone for someone who is super fair, but it's a nice highlighter. I just do wish that this highlighter would be a little bit more smooth and not so chunky looking. Eyeshadows are great. The only thing that I do have to say about the eyeshadows is the middle one right here does give you a lot of like glitter fallout. So if you are going to use this shade, I do recommend to do your eyes first, or put a lot of like baking powder on your under eye and then wipe it away, which some people don't like to do because their under eyes get super dry looking and crepey. So if that's the case, just do your eye makeup first and then do your face makeup second. That way you can kind of cover up and use a makeup wipe and wipe away that glitter. But other than that, I really do like the eyeshadows. They are my favorite out of everything in the palette. And then the blushes. The blushes are nice. There's nothing I have to complain about these blushes. I don't really like using a blush topper, but I know a lot of people do. So it's nice that they did go ahead. It's nice that they did go ahead and put that in the palette. You know, if you want to use it for a certain night or whatever, out or whatever, I don't know. It's in there and it's there for you. So I really like this. Changes that I would make to this palette to make it better, and for me to buy it again, because I do like it. I will continue to use it. I think it's a great palette to use if you're traveling, if you're going on vacation, if you're going on a weekend getaway and you don't want to take so much makeup with you. I think this is a great palette. Honestly, I really do. Would I buy it again? Probably not, but if they made these changes, I would buy it again. So this is what I would do differently. This highlighter, first of all, again, they need to come out with a whole nother shade range, but without talking about shades, this highlighter needs to be more smooth and more like creamy. You know what I mean? Like the chunkiness, I'm not a fan of that, okay? This shade here, a little too much fallout for me, but I mean, it's not a deal breaker. So, but if they could fix that, then that would be ideal. And then also, again, because I personally am not a blush topper person, okay, I would replace this blush right here, the shimmer blush, and I would put a little setting powder in there, like and maybe like an under eye brightener, or just an overall, you know, what do you want to call it? Not a setting powder, but like, what do they call those powders? I don't even know. Honestly, I can't even think right now. But anyways, yeah, so I would put one of those powders in there where you can just kind of just blend, you know, use it to blend everything in or set your under eyes. So that's what I would do differently. These pans, I believe, are a little bit smaller as well than the Charlotte Tilbury. I think hers is a little bit more rectangle, and these are square. So, but yeah, I mean, but I still think they're great. I can get my brushes in them. You might need a little bit smaller brush, like you can't use this huge, big, fluffy bronzer brush. But if you have smaller makeup brushes, I think you will be able, you know, they're not the worst. They're not the tiniest. But yeah, so that's what I would do differently. So those are my final thoughts on that and my review on that. That is everything, guys. I really do like my makeup and how it turned out. The only thing that I don't like is, one, my eyeliner came out very wonky. Like, this one came out super thick. This one came out sharp. What are you gonna do? But my under eye area, like, I think I'm gonna take off my makeup just because of the under eye area. Like, it looks horrible. And when you're wearing a mask, that's what people see, this part. So it's like, but yeah, that's everything, guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it, and I will see you again on Wednesday. Until next time, bye guys.